Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Illinois College Virtual Tour. My name is Evan Wilson. I'm a proud Illinois College graduate of the class of 2001, and it's my honor to serve the college as the Dean of Admission and Student Financial Services. One of the things that we do in the work that I do in the Office of Admission is provide tours of campus to prospective students, and today we're going to provide one for you. There's so much to show on our campus, we can't possibly give it all. A typical tour of the Illinois College campus takes about an hour, but I'm going to take you through a tour, some of the things you may remember as on your time as a student at Illinois College, and we'll do this for about 20 minutes or so. We're going to use the Illinois College virtual tour function on the Illinois College website. If you ever wanted to check the college out, try to remember what was that building again that I took that class in. Or maybe you have your own child or niece or nephew or someone who might be interested in Illinois College and want to show them the campus. You can go to ic.edu/visit and click on the virtual tour option to have a tour, to see an on-demand tour of the campus. So with that, we're going to turn it over. I'm going to share my screen here, show you what campus is looking like these days. All right. I loved my time at IC, and I love being on campus now. And one of the great things about being at IC is that even though as we come up on 200 years of our history, Illinois College continues to evolve over the years. And as you see on the tour today, there's going to be a combination of the old and the new. And you'll see how some of the spaces that you spent as a student have changed over the years, and we'll maybe revisit some memories that we have of the campus. So the first part of our tour, we're going to start at Tanner Hall. Tanner Hall is often referred to as the administration building. Some of you may have been at Illinois College when in fact Tanner Hall was Tanner Library. And about 40 years ago or more, the college moved the library to Sheewy. We'll see that in a little bit. But now Tanner Hall houses the Office of Admission. So this is where I call home on a daily basis. But it's also where you'll find the Illinois College president, the dean of the college and provost, a number of different offices here on campus. So this is often where visitors to campus start their day. Ramble Camp Chapel. How many of you remember spending time at Ramble Camp? I know I did, especially as a member of the choir. I spent a lot of time in there in performances, but many of us remember the convo requirement. Remember convocations? When I was a student at Illinois College, you had to have 60 convocations to graduate. At Illinois College now, the requirement is 30. There are a few less options in terms of what constitutes a convo requirement, but we do still hold chapel services in Ramble Camp and other places across campus. So many memories here. We think back to homecoming follies as students where we did, skits and musical performances and important speakers back in my day, Peter Arnett and Coretta Scott King, and today with Amber Tamlin and a number of different people who come to campus to address the community. This is often where they stop. It holds a particular special place in my heart as well, and I'm sure many alumni. My wife and I, Sarah, were married in Ramble Camp Chapel, and I know that that's been the case for many alumni. So we'll go on now to Sheewy Library, a major spot on the quad here. I have to admit I didn't spend nearly as much time in Sheewy Library as I should have as a student, but many of you I know did. So the building itself hasn't changed a lot, but how the way that students use a library has changed over the years. You might remember big dusty stacks of books and shelves on the first floor of Sheewy. And in fact, what you'll find when you walk into the library is an interactive study space. And in fact, the first floor is designated as a zone where noise can happen. So you'll see students collaborating on projects, and oftentimes you'll see them using this digital learning space in the back of the first floor here, in this area here, so they can collaborate using web-based tools to work on their projects and so on. We've got a seminar space here in the corner of Sheewy, which used to be oftentimes periodicals, journals, and those types of things has actually been closed off for a classroom space used frequently for classes themselves, and oftentimes the Board of Trustees will meet there when they're on campus for their meetings as well. The top floor of Sheewy Library is more of a quiet zone, and on the bottom level you'll see obviously a number of our reference materials. It's also home to the Khalaf Al-Abtur archives. You'll notice that you'll see this particularly in social media and things, a lot going on with archives here on campus. Samantha Sauer, who oversees the archive, has done a terrific job of preserving the history of the college and some of its famous holdings and some of the interesting things that are happening on our campus. All right, we'll step out of Sheewy and head over to Kirby Learning Center. So for those of us that have been at Illinois College over the last 30 years or so, will remember Kirby Hall is where a lot of the classroom activity has happens. I had communication classes in there, business classes, I took Spanish there, and so on, and I'm sure that you can think of it as well. Many times where you were there as well. When you step into the lobby of Sheewy, you'll notice over the last decade or so, we've added flags, and these flags represent the nationalities of Illinois College students and faculty. Right now, Illinois College is experiencing an enrollment boom. In fact, this fall we welcomed 1,150 students, which is the largest enrollment in the college's history. In that we have 32 different states represented and 26 different countries. So the college has changed a little bit. Who we are as an institution, the diversity that is on campus is quite different and adds really to the educational experience that we have on our campus, and love to see that kind of growth. We just want to point out real quick, in Kirby, some of the classrooms, of course, you would hope have received updates over the years, and I just want to point out, those of you who might have been business students over the years, how some of those classrooms have changed. I recall upstairs on the second floor of Kirby taking an accounting class or as a marketing class in a corner classroom that had your traditional desks and things, and we've turned that into a collaborative space here that can be utilized for all of our students, but particularly you see finance, economics, and business students using this classroom space to collaborate. It's far less about the professor lecturing and using the materials and technology to enhance their educational experience. So I wanted to show you that. We'll continue on to Baxter Hall. Baxter Hall has been sort of a jack of all trades over the years. Baxter Hall, I think originally was maybe even a dining hall. It's been residential space. In my day, you could find the computer labs in Baxter Hall. Back in the day when you needed to go to the computer lab to check your email or do those kinds of things, Baxter was the place to go. And in fact, now it's most commonly a student hangout space. You can see one of the dining options is here. Mondo subs. Students can grab a sub on the go, grab a cup of coffee or a beverage in between classes, hang out, study with friends, and take care of some business as well. So if you can see down the hall here, the Office of Student Financial Services used to be referred to as financial aid. That office is located there, as well as the mailroom. So you can recall the mailboxes that you had in your residence halls when you lived on campus. If you received packages and you got that ticket in the mail and you had to go down to the mailroom, well, now you come to Baxter to pick up those packages. And you can imagine with the proliferation of online shopping, how many packages that mailroom sees on a daily basis. Now, when I was in school and we took science classes, we took them in Crispin Hall. In 2001, we finished the Parker Science Hall, which has been home to science majors at Illinois College since that time, so going on 20 years now. Tremendous building. The building was designed with the idea of collaboration between faculty and students, and for those of you who may have been science majors or had classmates that were science majors, you know that the tremendous opportunity that came with working alongside professors in the labs to give them experience or preparation for graduate or professional school. All that is still happening at IC. So at Parker, you will find biology, chemistry, math. And just this fall, Illinois College, or this summer, Illinois College announced the start of a traditional Bachelor's of Science in Nursing program. So many students over the years have graduated from Illinois College and gone on to careers in nursing, but had to earn that degree, that nursing licensure, somewhere else. And in fact, we will begin offering those classes, or are offering those classes, starting this fall. And so thrilled about that. And the reason that I mentioned this in Parker is because on the second floor, on the east wing, is now nursing lab courses, and very soon we'll have additional photos and some videos and things to share with you on some of the nursing lab spaces. But really cool, some mock clinic facilities, really high fidelity mannequins and things students at Illinois College will be using as part of their nursing training. So really excited about that development. We expect that to be an extremely popular program. We're already seeing that is happening, and can't wait to see how that grows over the next few years. You can't have a tour of Illinois College, particularly for alumni, and not mention Beecher Hall. Beecher Hall is listed on the National Register of Historic Places, and is the first college building in the state of Illinois. It was built in 1830, and as many of us know it, as the home of two of our men's literary societies, Sigma Pi on the top floor and Phi Alpha on the lower level. Greek life continues to thrive at IC, and you'll find the men of Phi Alpha and Sigma Pi continuing to use Beecher Hall for literary productions and so on. Moving on to what is probably the signature building on campus, Sturdivant Hall, the oldest continuously used academic facility on our campus. Sturdivant Hall has continued to be used for classroom space. I believe there are 3 classrooms in Sturdivant, but you also find faculty offices both on the main level and upstairs. One of those spaces, again, that's just sort of iconic. And I think about that, and you walk around the outside of Beecher, and you can see over the years how graduates have inscribed their initials into the bricks of Sturdivant Hall. Now, we don't recommend students and alumni doing that any longer, but you'll find generation upon generation of initials on the walls of Sturdivant Hall. So very cool. One of the things that you might recall in your time at IC was a massive oak tree just outside of Sturdivant Hall, where there was a swing. Many photos taken there, sort of an iconic feature of the campus as well. A few years back, that tree had to be removed, but the swing actually has been moved as well. So you'll find the swing just outside Sheewy Library, and the swing lives on there. Moving on to Whipple, we talked about Greek life. Many of you might recall Whipple Hall being the home of both Alpha Phi Omega and Pi Pi Rho. A while back, the college reclaimed that facility for classroom instruction. So it's the home of Communication and Rhetorical Studies Department, as well as our speech lab. So there's some classrooms there. It's also the home of the Paul Findley Congressional Museum, where you'll find a representation of Illinois College graduate and former Congressman Paul Findley's congressional offices. So it's an interesting building, often used by students and faculty and staff for meetings and so on. The men of Pi Pi Rho also have a space that they reside on campus in residential facilities. And APO also has a house right now on campus, or just off campus, that is owned by the college, where they congregate and reside as well. And in fact, the largest student group on campus is Alpha Phi Omega. So it's been interesting and exciting to see how that's grown over the years. So we're going to skip a couple of buildings here, and we're going to go to the Center for Global Studies. As the college has grown over the years, you'll see that, some of our facilities have started to expand into the surrounding area. And this is, one example of that. The Center for Global Studies is the home of our, modern language programs, the global studies majors at Illinois College. And so for students who are interested in studying the languages, Center for Global Studies is sort of a home. It is also the former home of Illinois College graduate Dr. Chet Bone, who upon his passing left his home to the college and have been using it for the Center of Global Studies ever since then. Just next door, this is on Mound Avenue. Again, just to kind of give you an idea where we are on campus. If you can't place it, you can see the Parker Science Building here, Mound Road. There's a Center for Global Studies, and right next door is the Alumni House. So if you are ever in town, I know that the Office of Alumni Affairs would love to see you stop by the Alumni House. This is a place for alumni to reconnect. If you just need a place to hang out while you're in town with a Wi-Fi connection or something like that, to grab a cup of coffee, I know they would invite you to join them as well. I don't know how many of you were athletes when you were at Illinois College. Myself, I played on the soccer team, and I remember Memorial Gymnasium. You might recall that Memorial Gymnasium just a few years ago was torn down, and rightfully so. Hadn't been used in a number of years, but the Bruner Fitness and Recreation Center was finished, I believe, in 2003, and has been the home of IC Athletics ever since. Fantastic facilities. Illinois College remains a member of NCAA Division III athletics, competes in the Midwest Conference, and so much has been done to make this really an exceptional facility for our student athletes and the non-athlete, those students who are interested in intramural sports or even just recreational fitness. Here's the weight room. Tremendous facilities and equipment for them. I know those of us that remember working out in the basement of Memorial Gym really wish we could have would have had facilities this nice during our time. Also, England Stadium, which is built into the recreation center. This is where the football and soccer teams will compete. The soccer team used to compete across the street in a designated field there, but now uses this all-weather surface for their competitions. We also have an indoor track and field house. The Illinois College track team has had tremendous success, and Bruner is the home for both an indoor and outdoor track season. Weight room and fitness center. If you might remember, those of you who were in Bruner before, we used to have racquetball courts, and those have been renovated into more fitness space for our students. Sherman Gymnasium and the home of Bill Maris Court, where the Illinois College Blue Boys and Lady Blues play basketball and volleyball. An excellent place to watch a game. It can hold about 1,200 people or so at maximum capacity. So exciting facilities, just really fortunate to have it. When we have visitors come to campus and they see those facilities, they're often sort of in awe that a Division III school would have facilities quite that nice. Kane Student Center. As we move on around our tour here, Kane Student Center, I'm sure you can imagine or remember grabbing a meal in Cummings Dining Hall. Cummings has gone through a number of different renovations over the years, and you can see that it's been updated even just in the last couple of years. Fantastic space for students to kind of hang out, grab a meal, grab something on the grill, a pizza, or whatever the creation is for the day, but a great space for students to kind of hang out. But one thing that is new that is sort of a representation of the times is the Meraki gaming room. So 3 years ago, I believe, Illinois College began intercollegiate esports. So we compete in the game League of Legends. And inside Kane is our gaming room, complete with 10 gaming stations and a number of different facilities and accoutrement for people interested in gaming. So you'll see that room is used quite often, both for the intercollegiate athlete as well as just the sort of casual gamer. One other thing I'd like to mention about Kane Student Center is that it is also home of the IC store. One of the things that has changed over the years is that the way that we handle books. And you might remember we used to refer to it as the bookstore, but right now it's the IC store, and it's really just apparel only. At Illinois College, textbooks are now included in the cost of tuition, and all students receive their books delivered to them rather than picking it up in the long line at the bookstore. You remember the days where you used to take your schedule to the counter in the bookstore and then they would go pick your books. Those days have changed, and students have really appreciated that enhancement, that they don't have to worry about ordering their books or picking them up in the bookstore. It's all taken care of for them. Perhaps the newest building on campus is Abraham Lincoln Hall. Lincoln Hall is both a residential facility, and aside from Bruner, it is the largest facility or largest building on campus. It houses 200 students in suite style living mostly, which means that they have private bathrooms and so on and so forth. But on the main level of Lincoln Hall is what we refer to as the hub. And the hub is a space where students can hang out together and get quite a bit of student support. So if they need help with tutoring, they need some help with time management, they need some counseling support, all those things can be found on the lower level of Lincoln Hall. So I've got a photo here of the lower quad. You can see how this is set up, but this is Lincoln Hall here. You might remember the Griswold Suites being in this location. So if you can kind of imagine campus, you've got Pixley Hall here, Turner Hall here. On the lower quad, you've got Lincoln Hall. Lincoln Hall is a tremendous facility. It's also where you'll find the Starbucks. So again, if you're in town, want to swing through, grab a cup of Starbucks, Lincoln Hall is the place to go. So again, you can kind of see the lower quad here, and we're getting close to the end of our tour. But again, the residential facilities located here. One other thing I wanted to show you, a quad shot here, is this is Mound Avenue. And if you remember, like I do, when I was in school, Mound Road was still active with traffic, but about a decade ago, it was closed off to traffic, and now it's called Stoyr Walkway in honor of former Illinois College President Axel Stoyr. This is a great meeting place on campus. You can see in the middle of the walkway here, have this brass seal. And one other development here, and you can see this often on our social media, is the statue of Abraham Lincoln, who we know historically was a visitor to Illinois College in his early days in Illinois. So just going to take you one other location here just to kind of get a sense. I would love to take you through all the residence halls because I know that you have lots of memories there, but unfortunately we don't have time to take you through all the halls, but I did want to point out Ellis Hall. Ellis Hall, just to kind of give you a sense of what those rooms look like. And you can see that, it's still an Ellis Hall room. Still students living there. One thing that is a fantastic development for our students, if you remember, moving in the fall and how hot it was and lugging your stuff up the stairs with your family. Ellis Hall and all of the residence halls at Illinois College are now air conditioned. So don't have to worry about those first few weeks of class and just sweating like crazy, sleeping on top of your blankets and all that to stay cool. All that stuff, those days are gone. We've added a few modern conveniences as well. Obviously, Wi-Fi is included and source and expectation of all the students. You no longer have to contact the cable company to have cable TV in your room. It's included. We also have IC Movies, which is sort of the IC version of Netflix, where students can get free movies and things like that as well. So we tried to make it feel a little bit more like a home away from home. But in Illinois College, we are busting at the seams with residential students with this record enrollment. Also, just a little bit, talking again about sort of the expansion of campus, you might recall just down College Avenue, a set of apartments. And again, about 10 years ago or so, the Illinois College acquired these apartments on College Avenue. And now Illinois College offers not only traditional style residence halls and suites, but we do offer opportunities for students to live in apartments with fully functioning kitchens. Feels a little bit more like living independently, but still within the Illinois College campus. So as I said, there are so many things to show you about Illinois College and so many cool things going on, but you really need to experience it for yourself. We are thriving as an institution. We certainly hope that you come back and see us. We also hope that if you have somebody in your family that is getting close to college age, that you might consider sending your student to IC or at least coming to check us out. I'm sure you've got lots of questions, wish we had more time, but really want to say thank you for spending time with us today. We hope to see you back on the hilltop soon. Thank you very much. Have a great day.